Things like this in the future, inshallah, from the ISNS. May Allah Azza wa Jal keep plenty of barakah in this place and the people who run this place, inshallah. Our next Khatib and Imam and Shaykh is Shaykh Yaser. He was born in Palestine. He is from Palestine, but he was born in Kuwait. He received his education from the University of Medina, and mashallah graduated from the College of Sharia in 1996 with highest honors, mashallah. After that, he was a youth counselor and worked in the relief program aid as an aide in war-torn Bosnia. After that, he made his way to the US, alhamdulillah, and he is one of the imams of the Prayer Center in Orland Park. But he's probably best known for his work in the Maghrib Institute, which a lot of you might know, where they would have weekend seminars, and part of their education goes toward, inshallah, a bachelor's degree in Islamic studies. Also, he serves as a VP in Iman Rush Press, and which is the publishing part of Maghrib Institute. May Allah Azza wa Jal give him barakah with his knowledge and make us benefit of his words. He's going to talk to us about, his talk will be titled Happy Ending, Love One Another. So may Allah, you can come and take over the podium.
It's on recording.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. ثم أما بعد. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us that al-a'malu bil khawatim, in that usually al-a'malu bil khawatim, his deeds are usually judged by the last things, which means by their endings. We know hadith Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إنما الأعمال بالنيات, that deeds are judged by their intentions. But how can you tell if the person did something in the right way or the wrong way? How can you tell what the intention is? How can we discover that intention? It's very hard here to see that. So therefore, we judge by what we see. And if you want to judge the intention of someone, you will judge by the actions of what they have done. In our eyes, at least, that's how we see things, that's how we judge things. So when we say al-a'mal bil khawatim, means you judge these actions by their ending. So if you have a happy ending, then this can tell you that the preceding acts were definitely leading to that happy ending. And I'll share with you a story over here. Let's say an example of how the happy ending can definitely be a reason for us to say that everything that preceded that was indeed leading to that happy ending. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the last few days, he felt sick. When he felt so ill, sallallahu alaihi wasallam was unable to take that tool, or to now move from one house to the other. He was unable, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to rotate between his households. So he requested somehow, in a subtle way, to be nursed and to be taken care of in the house of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. And when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam remained there for the last few days, he became ill further and further until he passed away, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is so remarkable about that story is the way the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, and the last moments of his life. How was he? How did he feel? In which position? Who was with him? All these things that many people overlook sometimes in the story of the death of the Prophet ﷺ. You can see that the end of the life of the Prophet ﷺ was a great example that can tell us how he lived his life with his wife sallallahu alaihi wasallam. al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha was with him. His most beloved wife was there with him and was for him. She described how the Prophet ﷺ passed away. And she said that when the Prophet ﷺ died, she was actually holding him and he was leaning towards her chest. His head ﷺ was between her chin and her chest. قالت مات بين حاقنتي وذرقنتي. When he passed away, he died between my chin and my chest. And when the Prophet ﷺ died, His back was towards her. She was holding him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, making sure to support him with her body, just like she did support him with her life. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was falling ill, she used to recite ruqya, the recitation of the Quran, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was unable even to recite, and she would grab his blessed hand and wipe over his body to ease his pain, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when the Prophet ﷺ saw her brother Abdul Rahman coming in with his hand, he had the miswak, and he was cleaning his mouth with it. The Prophet ﷺ abaddahu basarahu, he was staring at him. And she said, وَعَلِمْتُ أَنَّهُ يُحِبُّ السِّوَاكِ, I knew how much Rasulullah ﷺ he loved to use miswak. So I said, shall I take it for you? قالت أخذه لك. فأشار برأسه نعم. He nodded with his head, yes. So she took that from her brother. She bit the tip of it. She cleaned that part and made it fresh and nice and tender for the Prophet ﷺ, and then she gave it to him. And the Prophet ﷺ, he used it. He used it, that was the last time he did. And she said, فَمَا رَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ اسْتَنَّ اسْتِنَانًا قَطْ أَحْسَنَ مِنْهُ. I've never seen the Prophet ﷺ cleaning his mouth in a way that was better than that one. Because it was the last time he's meeting his Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when the Prophet ﷺ finished cleaning his mouth and his teeth, he puts that miswak down, raising his finger up, and he said the last words, فِي الرَّفِيقِ الْأَعْلَى فِي الرَّفِيقِ الْأَعْلَى, which means to be within the higher companionship, in the higher companionship. قالت فَعَلِمْتُ أَنَّهُ يُخَيَّرُ, I realized that he was being given the choice. Because the Anbiya, when they die, they will be given the choice if this would be the last moment or should they stay longer in life. And that was the time when Rasulullah, he made the decision. He says, that's enough, I need to go with the higher companionship with the Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the Prophet ﷺ dies, and she felt the heavy weight of his body falling on her chest, radiallahu ta'ala anha. That's when she realized that her beloved husband, Rasulullah ﷺ, passed away. Now look at this moment. As I was describing this now for you, I'm sure each one of us, we had that visual now effect in our minds. Even though we couldn't tell how the Prophet's beautiful face looked like, how Aisha Mu'mineen was at that moment, but we can see the whole scene in our minds. That scene shows you the strong relationship between a husband and wife. A love relationship between a husband and wife. That shows us how much Rasulullah ﷺ, he loved his wife Aisha, how much he cared for her. And in the last moments of his life, he was waiting for that day when he would be with her again. And in return, she also exchanged that reciprocal love with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she was faithful with him, to him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the last minute. A scene like this would tell you that a woman, a wife, did not abandon her husband when he was in most need of her. He was in need of her touch. He was in need of her peace, of her closeness, of her proximity and the warmth, and that was the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is khawatim al-a'mal, in the relationship with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his wife in the dunya. This was the end of the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this world. And that was the end of that relationship of Aisha radiallahu anha with her husband in this life. Yet when you see that scene, you can tell. It must be the result of a great and beautiful, nourishing relationship between a husband and wife, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his wife Aisha radiallahu anha. You see, to be loved and to love is a human component that no one can deny. All of us would like to be loved. I would love to love someone. When you were young, when you were still a baby or a child, when you feel lonely, you feel that you need someone to be with you. A baby, when you have a baby and you look at his